Welcome back to Two Movies, One Pod with your hosts, Em and Kinka. I'm Em.
I'm Kinka.
And on today's episode, we're discussing two horror movies. 1980's The Shining, directed by Stanley Kubrick, and starring Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, and Danny Lloyd.
And 2019's Dr. Sleep, directed by Mike Flanagan, and starring Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, and Kylie Curran. Maybe. But these movies are...
Movies! These movies are movies, for sure.
They're movies, and in case anyone doesn't know, Dr. Sleep...
Shinib.
Well, Shinib is a whole nother thing. But Dr. Sleep is a sequel to The Shining, both book and movie. There was a book, Dr. Sleep. Mr. Stephen King wrote the book in 2013, I think. So both... Both the movie and the book are like decades after the book and the movie of Shining. The Shining, or Shinib, as it's more fondly known as only us.
Yeah, Shinib became a thing because Kinka was typing Kinka was typing Shining, The Shining, and it came out as Shinib. It's a typo. And then he also was typing Chucky, which we've talked about on the pod before. If you haven't watched that one, you should. And he typed Chucky wrong, so now it's
Shinib.
No, it's the Chucky
Oh, sorry,
one.
I thought we were saying both of them. Chichuki or Chikuki. It's up for interpretation, really.
Chichuki. It's just so funny because, we just did our Halloween Horror Night stream.
That's true. It's on YouTube.
It's very, very on brand for... My cat just went under the bed. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've lost my fucking mind. The COVID.
Yeah, as you can tell, we're crazy this episode, just like Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Yes, exactly. It's so perfect.
Well, one of us is crazy, at least. Maybe crazier than the other.
I'm feeling that too. Yeah.
I'm crazy, but I'm more of an inward crazy than outward.
Yeah, I'm more expressive about my craziness.
Stanley Kubrick is a very, one of the most famous directors ever. He's made a lot of very well-known, very famous movies, and he's what you call an auteur, right? You watch a Stanley Kubrick movie, you know you're watching a Stanley Kubrick movie. He's got the style about him. He's got the wit and the whimsy. Maybe not the last part, but you see a Stanley Kubrick, you know it's a Stanley Kubrick.
Hell yeah.
His filmmaking is very himself, unique, recognizable. Yeah. Mike Flanagan, kinda. He's still somewhat early.
Depends if he uses the same.
Yeah, he uses his wife and his friends.
If he uses his actors, yeah.
But his style, Kubrick and Flanagan, they both have their styles. So what do you think about choosing Flanagan to direct a sequel to a Stanley Kubrick movie? Do you think he was a good choice? Do you think his filmmaking is cohesive with Kubrick's vision of The Shining? Or what?
So I'm having deja vu answering this question. And when I answered this question before, I sure as shit didn't say anything.
People don't need to know about the past.
But yeah, there's a lot of differences. And I know you can elaborate on the directorial style of each of them because you went to school for this shit. But they each have their own style, and not gonna lie, I would not have noticed, like we just said, I would not have noticed that Mike Flanagan directed this had it not been for that, none of his regular actors he uses were in there.
This one.
The mom?
No.
Who?
One of the vampire people. He had like a beard. He's like a bigger guy and he has a beard. He was in at least Midnight Mass. I think he was in some of the other ones, but
well, he doesn't count. I'm talking about.
He doesn't count because I don't want him to.
No, but he doesn't count because he's not like truly a main character. I'm talking about if anyone out there has seen Gerald's Game, amazing. If you've seen Hush, great. If you've seen, Midnight Mass, Haunting of Bly Manor, Haunting of Hill House, he always uses those same few actors. It's very Rob Zombie of him to do that. So, yeah, I would not have noticed this, but there is a very distinct difference. I can't, per se, say what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't, like, really pinpoint it. It's just the vibe. The vibe is kind of different. But I do think Mike Flanagan does a good job at not mimicking the vibe from The Shining, but, like, not replicating it, but, like, carrying it over. Obviously, no one can be Stanley, but
Stanley, just referring to him by his first name.
He's Stanley now. Do the two films feel cohesive? No, not kind of like I said, you can tell that Mike Flanagan did many callbacks to The Shining. And I appreciate that. It's cool. It's fucking scary. And it's creepy. And it makes it fun because you get to see how Danny, after, even just, no time after that, was still affected by those ghosts, like the lady in the bathtub. That shit was still bothering him.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we got to see that. I'm glad we got to see it through his whole life. Like, I don't know. I have feelings about each of these movies. I'm glad Dr. Sleep exists. Did it have to? No. But I'm glad it does. I think it's cool. I think they're cohesive enough. They're just enough. What do you think?
Yeah. I think
yeah.
that Stanley and Mike have two very different. They both love the slow burn. They love long conversations.
Yeah. Yes.
But they still have pretty different styles. And I think that they kind of, there's like some cohesion there, but I think Mike Flanagan I don't know if it would be right to say the other way around, but Mike Flanagan complements Kubrick's style well. Like what he does in Dr. Sleep is like a respectful, whatever the word is, a respectful
homage.
No, I can't remember the word. Not succession, like respectful transition into, I don't know. It just it there is cohesion, and some of it is just more forceful than some. Like, we'll get into, I think, once they get to the Overlook Hotel in Dr. Sleep, a lot of it is uninteresting to me because it's just like, this was from The Shining, and this was from The Shining, and this was from The Shining. I think a lot of the cohesion comes in with Danny and his character, because, I mean, well, it's about him. The movie's more or less named after him. I think.
Yeah. He really anchors this movie.
Yeah, and Ewan McGregor does a phenomenal job as Danny.
He really does. He's such a good actor. Wow.
Yeah, I think just a lot of the cohesion comes in the long scenes of dialogue and the contemplative kind of, if that's even a word, it is now. Contemplative, like feeling. And there's just so much impact. Like you just, it's almost like an inverse in The Shining. You feel it's slowly watching a family and a man fall apart, But in Doctor Sleep, it's
Yeah.
like you're seeing someone build themselves up.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Yeah, so...
Because that is so crazy.
Yeah, I just thought of that right now.
Wow. It's like the opposite. Like each movie is like you start out bad, then you end up good. Eh. Or you end up dead. Or you end up, you start off not that...
Ghosts
You start off not that
interfering.
great. Yeah. You start off not that great in The Shining, but then you go even motherfucking worse. You know what I mean? So it's like very polar opposites starting to end spectrums in each movie.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah, it's a very... You wouldn't think of it like on the surface, but Mike Flanagan was probably the perfect person to make a sequel to The Shining, to continue what Stanley Kubrick started. And, there's been sequels to Stanley Kubrick movies before. The first one that I can think of, and maybe the only one, is a sequel to 2001 Space Odyssey. They did one 2010. I forget the subtitle, but came out in like the 80s.
Sounds terrible.
I watched it, I think, like a year or two ago. It's like... It's okay. It's not bad. But it's just like, you cannot make a sequel to 2001.
Right.
It's just not something
like,
that you can do.
Some things just should remain untouched.
Yeah. But I feel like I would feel that way. I felt that way about The Shining when I heard that they were making this movie.
Until Doctor Sleep came. Yeah.
I'm
and
like,
then
you
you
can't
saw
make a
Doctor Sleep and you're like,
sequel
man,
to
it's
The
actually...
Shining.
Right.
But then
Exactly.
it's like, well, I mean, they kind of did it.
But they did, yeah. So it's like, it's up to you whether to like it or not, and it was good.
Yeah. But that we answered about 7 different things in that. So let's get on to the second question.
Do you have any personal theories about what The Shining means? And why has this film become so enigmatic and conspiracy driven?
Wow, those are some good words.
Big words.
Big words. We're grown-ups now. We're using big words like enigmatic.
Yeah, that's so adult of us.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it was kind of the perfect storm for this movie to have such conspiracies about it, to be so enigmatic. Kubrick himself is just such a mysterious filmmaker, and this story, the way that he did it, it's just Kubrick made it so. Like, if someone else made the movie, and if they made it more like the book, probably no one would be talking about it. It would just be another Stephen King adaptation. But
right.
Kubrick making it just the way, like, the movie feels so empty in a way.
What?
I don't know.
The Shining?
Yeah, like not that much happens, and it feels empty, but it's also every second is so important, and every second could mean like anything. There's so many things in this movie that isn't explained that you can attach your own meaning to. It's like designed to let you run wild with what you want to think happens.
Right, exactly. I kind of love and hate that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not too vague to the point where it's complete nonsense.
Yeah.
Like other
Right.
movies.
Looking at you, Outwaters. Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
I said Waters as well.
Oh, wow. We both said it. Yeah.
But
It's such a fucking scarring movie.
I mean, personal theories. This is, I heard this elsewhere, but I think I like to think that it's true. Is that Stanley Kubrick did fake the moon landing, and him hinting at it is by having Danny wear that sweater of what was it, like an Apollo 11 on his sweater. I would so greatly like to think of that Stanley Kubrick being like, yeah, I faked the moon landing. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
But that's too. But I mean, it feels too out there. But at the same time,
It's very Kubrick-esque of him to do that.
it's like he made the choice for Danny. I'm almost certain Danny didn't wear an Apollo 11 sweater in the book.
No, I don't think so.
Stanley Kubrick decided for that to happen, had someone in wardrobe make that sweater, all those details. Stanley Kubrick approved of it. Like, it's so purposeful. And it is, realistically, it's probably just to fuck with people, but still.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
Yeah, but, I mean, a personal theory that I have that isn't just something I read one time, which I don't know if it is just, like, something that's said without being said in the movie, kind of implied, but it very much seems to me like Jack Torrance does also have The Shining. And a lot of this theory is kind of brought on by things that happen in Doctor Sleep as well, but like Jack has all the behavior that people have in Doctor Sleep that have The Shining. Like he well, first of all, he's crazy. He's always seeing shit and hearing shit, but like when he was asleep at his desk screaming because of that nightmare, that's that same shit that that Abra was doing when she was watching the baseball
and
boy get killed.
He even explained what the dream was. It was him killing and chopping them up into little bits.
Yeah. Yeah, and The Shining has foresight, right? So he was foreseeing that, just like how in the beginning of The Shining, Danny, talking to what's his name, Trevor, Tony, whatever the fuck. He's like, why don't we want to go eat there? It's just like, it's just warning him. So there's a premonition aspect of The Shine, and and him staring. You know, the famous shot of Jack Nicholson just staring. Like, is that not what people with The Shine do? Danny did that when he was a kid, just staring. Just
did that so much, yeah.
And that's why he was an alcoholic, Jack. Because just like how Danny became an alcoholic later in his life, alcohol dulls the shine. So that's, I mean,
I actually totally agree with that. That's a really good theory and the most logical, honestly.
Yeah, that's like that's not even subtext. That's just like the text, if you like think about it.
Right. It's pretty in your face clear that that's what that is.
Yeah, and you know, when you have the shine, you're like more predisposed to be affected by ghosts, and that Overlook Hotel is absolutely taken over by negative ghosts. So him going
is that what
there.
Do you think he was actually the caretaker? Did he work there, or was that just like the ghosts fucking with him?
I think that was just ghosts fucking with him.
Okay.
Maybe that's the
part I can't
tricky.
answer.
Yeah.
That is very confusing.
Everything else makes sense.
I'm gonna watch Room 237. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch that because I'm interested in hearing theories. I really want to know because I remember this shit used to plague me. When I used to watch this movie like 10 years ago, I'd be like, what does it mean? You know what I mean? Like, I would be like so like fucked up over it. I'm like, what is the theory? Like, what is this? Like, it would just like piss me off, you know?
Yeah, like that's that. I mean, Room 237s are crazy. They talk about there's a minotaur running loose in the hotel. Someone has a theory about that in there. So,
what the fuck, bro? Now we're just saying anything at this point, aren't we? We're letting people put this in the documentary too? It's stupid.
Yeah, not all the theories in there are the best, but I mean, it's interesting.
It's interesting.
But
yeah,
so I think, you know, Jack fell so easily to the negative ghosts in the Overlook because he'd been suppressing the shine his whole life. He never tried to understand it. He never tried to, like, you know, how Dick Hallorann helps Danny to build defenses in The Shining to repel against negative energies. Jack never did that. He just drank.
Nope. So
he never knew how to wield it. So the ghosts in the Overlook took over and wielded it for him.
Yeah. Manipulated him because they were able to, and it was easy.
Yeah.
Because he was so like vulnerable and like weak-minded.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said. I don't even have to answer because I don't really have anything to add. So yeah, I think that was a really great answer.
Thank you. But okay, so we almost answered this already pretty much, but let's bring it up anyways. Did a sequel to The Shining even need to be made? If so, was Mike Flanagan the right choice? Which we pretty much agree that no, a sequel to The Shining doesn't need to be made, but the way
I
they
think
did
Mike
it,
Flanagan was a good choice.
yeah, I can't really imagine anyone else
Yeah.
because he, like,
Surely not Ari Aster.
no,
Oh my fucking god, dude, that movie would have been. Honestly though, I kind of, dude, you know what'd be cool? The Shining, but made by Ari Aster.
yeah, you brought this
That
up
would
when
be
we were watching The Shining.
so.
You remake The
Did
Shining
I?
with Ari Aster, yeah.
Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah, I think Ari Aster could do The Shining, but Doctor Sleep.
But not Dr. Sleep.
It's,
It's
a very
just not
diff-
his
it's
thing.
much more.
Yeah.
What's Mediterranean, not meditative, however you say that word. It's a lot slower and like a character study, and it like meditates on the things that Danny has been through. It's less horror than The Shining, at least. Well, I mean, the Shining
I think it
vampires
is.
are pretty
Definitely less horror.
pretty horror-y, but other than that aspect of the movie, it's very
The Shining vampires.
yeah. What do you?
I guess they are vampires,
yeah,
aren't
they
they?
suck the shining out of people, and it keeps them alive.
I don't like love that storyline. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a thing.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, it was very jumping the shark for me when we were watching that. I'm like, what am I doing? What movie is this? This is not The fucking Shining. Who are these people?
Yeah, but at the same time,
You know?
it's like The Shining was so underdeveloped in the movie. The Shine, rather, was so underdeveloped in the movie.
Yeah, they needed to. I
Like,
get that.
this
Yeah.
gives it depth. Seeing
Yeah, no, I understand.
more people that have the shine and and other people that want to abuse the shine for their own gain.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it, but it was just very random. I wasn't expecting that. But,
Yeah.
so did a sequel to The Shining need to be made? No, it did not. But I'm not mad that it's made. I'm glad, like you said, I'm glad we got some answers. We got some context. We got honestly, there's ghosts. There's something going on.
Your camera has the
But-
shine.
Yeah, it does. But it's like, I'm glad we got to. I never knew I needed to know what happened to Danny. I didn't know
right?
I did until this movie. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm actually really glad that, like, we learned about him. He was super fucked up for a long time because of it. Then he finally turned his life around and he was doing good. And then he uses his powers and his shining for good. And usually I wouldn't love the introduction of all these fucking characters and this little girl. You know how I feel about child actors and shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just like ruin a movie and you're just like, shut up, please. But I actually liked this storyline with the little girl. It was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was interesting. I had no fucking idea what to expect from Dr. Sleep, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
It was good.
In many ways, I think I like Doctor Sleep more than The Shining.
Yeah. They're very different. And do we have a question that compares I guess our rating at the end we can kind of dive into like what we liked, more about what.
Yeah, there's a lot more to latch on to emotionally with Doctor Sleep versus The Shining.
Yes, definitely,
There's
definitely.
no emotion. There's no like character to latch on to except for maybe
Wendy. The only feelings I felt were upset when Dick Hallorann was killed,
mm-hmm.
and when obviously they said the N-word. I was very disturbed like 3 times.
Yeah.
Very disturbed. And when Wendy was just like straight from the jump, bro, getting like emotionally and like mentally abused by Jack, it truly was triggering to see her just try to be so fucking positive and just try to like stick through that shit with her husband and just try to be happy, and he doesn't give her shit. He doesn't care. And I even said I said something and you're like, no, from the beginning, like Jack is something's off, something's
Yeah,
wrong.
he's never
you know,
a
and
rational, sane
he's
person.
never 100%. Yeah, exactly. It only gets worse. And like even when they're in the car on the way to the Overlook, him just talking to them is so like passive aggressive and sarcastic. I'm just like, bro, you deserve to die. Like, no wonder why you got possessed. You're the piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This movie, not Doctor Sleep. Stephen King, I have a serious problem with him. I'm sorry. Like, every one of his movies, there's always fucking abuse. There's always, like, children dying. Or just, like, the most fucked up shit you could think of. It's, like, super triggering and, like, real life shit. It's, like, sad, you know? Like, I don't know. It really fucks you up. I don't know. I don't love my horror movies like that because it's triggering. You know,
Yeah.
I watch horror to like not think about how all the things I've been through, you know, but I watch his movies or, you know, I read the adaptations obviously. And I'm like reminded, I'm like, this is like real life shit that people go through, like bullying. Oh, there's always bullies. Someone's always gay and getting bullied, or someone's fat and getting bullied. Someone just like, I'm like, I don't want to think about this. This is sad. There's racism. I'm just like, this is too real. I don't like this.
Yeah,
you know?
It's too real, but also simultaneously way too over the top and comical. At least
yes, it's so, everything is
things.
so fucking, like the movies are so overly dramatic. And I'm just like, is this a drama or is this a horror fucking movie, bro? Like, what's going on? And I'm talking to you, It. Everything in that fucking movie is so over the top. And I'm just like, God damn, I can't imagine what the book is like. Like, fuck, you know? Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny you bring up how Wendy's just like being tormented the whole time. I think that's why you think Ari Aster could do The Shining good, because Ari Aster loves tormenting a woman for nearly 3 hours.
So on brand. These men need help, honestly. Get these men some therapy, bro.
Yeah, get some BetterHelp. We're sponsored.
Oh my God. No, don't use BetterHelp.
No, it sucks. Don't use it.
Yeah, don't use it.
If they offered to sponsor us, I would say no.
Yeah.
Or no, it depends
Find
how much
your own
money they're
therapist.
offering.
Yeah, exactly.
But what was I about to say? Yeah, there's just nothing to latch onto really with The Shining. Which
Right.
surely the book can't be like that. You know, I'm almost certain like The Shining is more a Stanley Kubrick movie than it is a Stephen King adaptation.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cold, no pun intended. Very cold. The movie, The Shining movie. But Doctor Sleep is a lot warmer. There's so much more to latch on to.
Yes, there's a lot more emotion from many, many people.
Mm-hmm. Like I almost cried watching Doctor Sleep.
Me too.
Because of how like
at the end
just
when he died.
not the end for me. When
What?
I don't elaborate. When
Yeah, just don't even elaborate.
Yeah.
Just say I wasn't then though, but I'm not gonna tell you.
It was when he was working in the hospice place, he would like he was like, what's his name? That god that the Greek god Chiron or whatever. He was like guiding people to death. It was just so just so powerful to me and fitting that
and
he
every
would
single
be the one to
person
do
was
that.
so scared.
Yeah,
I
and
know.
he soothed them, and that cat. Just like
Oh,
that's just like what
it was really sweet.
That's what stands out to me the most about this story about Dr. Sleep is Danny working in that hospice place with that cat and guiding people to their deaths. That to me is like where he belongs.
Yeah,
There's
it's very sweet.
So powerful about it.
Yeah, and like he was like called to do that. Like it all just so happened to work out, and he has the powers he does. It's like so crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
he was meant for that.
The movie's called Doctor Sleep. He got the nickname Doctor Sleep by the patients. The movie is named that because of that. It's just I don't know. It's like to a degree. This is kind of what's the word, a critique on Kubrick, but you won't see that like level of emotion really from a Kubrick movie. His movies are very cold.
No, they are very cold and very distant, and I hate it. It makes me upset.
Yeah.
You know what the movie feels like? The movie feels like the cooler. That wasn't a cooler, it was a storage thing, but it feels like a cooler in the big ass kitchen of the Overlook. It's cold. It feels like the kitchen.
We got
it's
12 packs of
shiny.
Oreos. We got 17 jalapenos. We have 33
we have
graham crackers.
60 pounds of ground beef. Yeah, it's just like 30 chickens, 20 hens, 60 hot dogs. Like all this crazy
gallons of goat's milk.
Yeah, and Danny's just like disassociating, and all you hear in the background is Dick Hallorann listing off the groceries that they have, and you're just like, first of all, how do you even remember any of this? What's going on? Like, so funny. Like, oh my god, Dick Hallorann makes this movie.
I didn't want to entirely derail. I didn't mean to entirely derail what you were saying.
No, I love it. No, it's just a very cold movie. Very. Like, and the color palette of this movie is so cold. It's like the filter of it is just like, ugh. It's just like, it gives me the ick.
I think the movie's beautiful.
No, I'm saying, well, yeah, it's like beautifully scary, but like, the things that stand out to me is like the carpet and the green bathroom, and the pink walls in the room. I don't know, but it's just like, maybe it's just the vibe. It's the vibe of the movie. It's not the specific colors. It's just like the tone, the like overcast, overlay, whatever it is of the movie. It's just like
the vibe.
Ugh, it's creepy. Yeah, it's creepy. It feels just off and scary and wrong. You know, just the whole thing is ugh.
It very much
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it feels like you're always being observed or like by the ghosts, or they're trying to alter your behavior. Like they're always trying to fuck with you in every shot of that movie.
Yeah. So, does Dr. Sleep fall victim to the traps of the 2010 Legacy sequel? Or is it too focused on being a sequel to The Shining that it forgets to be its own movie? What do you think?
I think in some aspect, well, let me kind of clarify what the 2010s Legacy sequel means, because I say 2010s,
trash.
Well, more or less, but I say 2010s, but we're still feeling the effects of it. I think it really started with The Force Awakens, where it's like, oh, it's been 30 years since the last movie, but let's do it again. And look, we got Harrison Ford. He's old now. We got Carrie Fisher. She's old now. We got Luke Skywalker. He's old now.
Yeah.
And it's the thing that I despise the most about 2010's Legacy sequels is that the legacy actors that they bring back to these roles that they haven't played in like 30 years, those characters were just like frozen in time. Like it's like they're the exact same. They're wearing the same exact thing. They're acting the same exact way as the last time they were in a movie. It's like, you grow in 30 years. You change your clothes. Some mindsets change.
It's okay to be different.
Yeah, it feels so artificial and disingenuous. If I said that right. It's just like you were cryogenically frozen mentally. I mean, physically they look different. Your brain was cryogenically frozen for 30 years. You are just the same character. Nothing has changed. Why would you bring back a character after 30 years and do the same exact thing? But when they tried to do something different in The Last Jedi, people didn't like that.
Yeah, so it's all
so
about
I'm not even gonna get into that.
Yeah, it's about pleasing the audience. You know, it really doesn't, and that's when they do that, it sometimes does a disservice to the movie. You know?
Yeah, and like Star Wars did that. Ghostbusters did that a few years ago.
No comment.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on others, but like, okay, well,
they did that with the Texas Chainsaw movie, the original one. They made Texas Chainsaw. on Netflix.
Oh yeah, a few years ago.
This was the worst goddamn movie I've ever seen in my fucking life. They brought back Sally Hardesty. The same goddamn woman. It was absolutely terrible. Oh my God. I can't even talk about that. Anyways, I'm like still fucking raging over that. That was the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. The Mask is terrible. It's so fucking bad. It is so bad. Anyways, I'm getting really pissed off.
We're still, even though, you know, we say 2010's legacy sequel, but we're still feeling this shit. Just what? Later this month, next month, a new Exorcist movie is coming out with what? The girl's mom from the first one?
Yes, her name is...
The Halloween movies. That's what I was trying to think of with Jamie Lee Curtis and Evil Dies Tonight. And it's like, hey, remember this character? He was a little boy. Now he's a middle-aged man. Isn't that cool? No. No. Nobody wanted that. Nobody asked for that. Nobody fucking cares. I hate when movies do that. It is such a fucking cash grab. It is not for... It's not because they care. They want to promote that and say, oh my God, look who's in it. Okay? They were kids when they acted. Like, they can't act now. One of them was one of the Real Housewives. Yeah. And I'm like... It's so cheap. And it does... It's just like shows it's like indicative of our culture stagnating. We cannot create anything new. We just have to keep bringing up old shit.
So annoying.
Yeah.
And cringe.
That's just what I was worried about so much when, you know, before Dr. Sleep came out. You see the trailers. I don't know if you watched any of the Dr. Sleep trailers, but they're so...
I don't think so, because it was so long ago.
The marketing was almost entirely about the Outlook Hotel. Or the Outlook, is that what it's called?
No, the Overlook.
The Overlook Hotel. All the marketing was Danny stepping back in the hotel, and the part where in his apartment the murder was on the wall. Just iconography from The Shining. That's what they tried to sell this movie on.
3 seconds of the movie was that.
Yeah.
So literally, that's cool.
The marketing of the movie was, just iconography from The Shining that was barely even in the movie. Because you can't sell people new shit. You can't sell people new shit. They're not going to know what it... I don't know what this is. Why would I see it? You have to... shove down people's throat. The hotel, look, the blood in the elevator, look, the twins. You can't, you can't show people the first half of this movie in marketing. They're gonna be like, okay, so a hobo Obi-Wan Kenobi walks around. Okay, no, thank you. You know what I mean? It sucks. And this movie didn't do that good.
Really?
I think it barely made its budget back.
Really? I didn't know that.
Did not do that good, and that's...
Yeah, because nobody was asking for this. Nobody wanted this. This is so goddamn random. Not to say it's not good, but it's just like, okay, and?
Yeah, when you hear there's a sequel to The Shining and you watch the trailer, you think, oh, this is just another one of those 2010s legacy sequels where they're just showing you a bunch of old shit to keep you satisfied. But no, this movie... Yeah,
exactly.
The only way...
It's its whole own movie.
Yeah, it only slightly falls into the traps of those legacy sequels by having all the iconography at the end of the movie of the Microsoft Outlook Hotel.
Oh my God, that's so fucking funny. Yeah, definitely. I don't think it falls victim to it like the other ones, the other shitty ones, because this one was actually pretty decent. So
yeah, it actually is. It's so good. It's like a real movie. And
yeah, it's like a real movie on its own. Right?
Yeah, it tells an original story. It recasts a lot of the things with these legacy sequels is bringing back the old actors, which that's our next question, but let's compound these two questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Like, obviously they could have had the kid that played Danny as Danny in this,
Danny Lloyd.
They recasted him, Ewan McGregor, who did an amazing job. But that he was in the movie really shortly, Danny Lloyd.
Really? What was he?
He was the baseball kid's dad on the bleachers talking about how good he is at the game.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to look this up. Keep talking. I just
Okay.
need to see it.
But yeah, you know, this movie, Doctor Sleep, had recast. What's his name?
Wow.
Jack Nicholson. Recast Jack Nicholson. Recast Shelley Duvall. I mean, thankfully, because I mean, with the story that this is telling, it's not them older. It's the story was them
No.
like
And you know what?
same age as The Shining.
Because you said that, because you fucking said that, I am okay with them recasting it. Because when we watched this movie, I said, who the fuck are these people?
Who
is
are
this?
you people?
Yeah, I was so confused. I hated it. But I will say, the thing that they took, well, no, because then that wouldn't make sense. I was going to say, when they had the shots in the hotel, they could have just reused that from The Shining, but then you can't have different actors in the present day and then back then. So I honestly, you know what? I'm okay with them recasting it because like I said, when we watched it, I was pissed. I was like,
really
I don't
mad.
like this. I don't like this. This is weird and I hate this. But honestly, I understand. Oh, wait, I just remembered the actor that played Jack Torrance is one of Jack Flanagan's reoccurring actors in all of his shit. What'd I call him?
You said Jack Flanagan.
Okay, well, same guy. Anyways, Jack Nicholson, yeah, who plays Jack Nicholson's character. He's used the little boy from E.T. I don't remember his name in real life. But anyways, I am okay with the recasting. Like I said, I was not, but it's all right. It's okay for this movie. I understand. It still feels weird, but
it's a
I'm
bit
okay
of an
with
adjustment, but
it.
I
It
much
is.
prefer
It's
it to having de-aged actors.
Yeah, I do. I know. And I even
Digital
said that. I was like,
face,
why didn't...
you're not a human?
Yeah,
that motherfucker
I said that. I was
is
like, why
not
didn't they
real.
do that? Yeah, for
Sorry.
real. And we would have been able to notice it. It would have looked terrible. It's fine, you know?
Yeah.
And the people that acted as them looked pretty good and looked like them, so I'm not mad, but it was definitely a shock. I was not expecting that at all. Even the opening scene of the little kid, I'm like, who is that? That's not Danny. You know, because he was in the fucking Overlook. But then when I see, oh, he's got his own story at home, okay, I'm okay with it. I get it. So,
and
yeah.
Mike Flanagan originally was considering doing like having Jack Nicholson in that scene and digitally de-aging him, but he just
No.
decided it's not.
You can't de-age that old ass motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like
No, not enough for him.
a cave troll. At
Yeah,
this
this
point.
man is like, oh, he looks bad.
He does.
There's no saving him from like de-aging him. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, but the technology just wasn't. You just can't beat a real human being.
Yeah.
But and Shelley Duvall, or rather Wendy, I guess, and Shelley Duvall, is so like uniquely beautiful in The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
She's has like almost like an ethereal vibe. She feels like too good for
So
the world.
beautiful.
Her
Right?
character.
She really is. Yeah, because she's such like a sweetheart and she really tries, you know, and she really loves her kid, and it's very much so portrayed through the movie that she would do anything for her kid, unlike the dad, you know? So it's a big contrast.
Yeah, and you know, Shelley Duvall was just so good in The Shining, but I think the actress that they got in Doctor Sleep was pretty good. You know, Shelley Duvall is so unique that you can't get someone to look just like her, but I think they did the best that they could. She sounded a lot like her.
They did fine with what they have. Yeah, they did good with what they had.
Yeah, you can't de-age her either. Both her and Jack Nicholson.
Oh no, she looks pretty rough. It's honestly very sad, her story.
Yeah. But I think all the actors that were recast, even Dick Hallorann, he was great.
Mm-hmm.
He was amazing.
Yeah, Dick Hallorann was probably my favorite, like, recast.
Yeah, I would
He
say
was good.
the twin girls weren't that good. They recast. Obviously, you got to recast the twin girls, but
Yeah, I didn't like that.
it
I did not
shows
like
they
that.
weren't
Oh
that
yeah,
good.
the girl who played Wendy was also in the Midnight Club, and in The Haunting of Bly Manor. That's where I've seen her. I knew I've seen her somewhere. So he did use and Midnight Mass. She was in Midnight Mass.
Oh, who was she?
So
in Midnight
he
Mass?
did use. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see. She was. Hold on. Let's see. Mildred.
Okay.
So
I thought I'd know,
probably
but I
nobody
don't.
important. But yeah, so there were a couple characters
Mildred.
very
I might
very scattered throughout Doctor Sleep. It wasn't totally Mike Flanagan's stamp of all of his main actors, but there were a few. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, like his style was present, but also kind of like, I don't know,
But-
like he.
Because this is a book. This isn't his thing. You can't like fuck around with it. This is a book that you have to do, service to.
Yeah, he had to do. I cannot imagine the amount of work that Mike Flanagan put. He has to adapt the Doctor Sleep book, which is a sequel to the Shining book, but also make a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's
To the fucking
Shining movie.
Shining, yeah.
And satisfy
that's
people
a
and make
lot.
it not be bad and make it a unique story about adult Danny's struggles.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's a lot.
I can't. If Mike Flanagan wasn't already bald,
This
the
man
amount of
is
stress.
gray-haired or bald,
Yeah, the amount of stress this must have put on him would have made him bald.
How does the child acting differ from the two movies?
Let's see. Danny, who plays Danny in the first one, was
In the
really
first one.
good. Really good.
You mean The Shining?
The Shanib, yes.
I had to mute, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. He was really, really good,
Oh,
and he wasn't even an actor beforehand. He wasn't a child actor before.
He wasn't. Oh, good. Well, he did a great job. He was really good. Wow.
He didn't act before, and he hasn't acted much since.
Wow.
This is like his most biggest role. He did
His most biggest.
he did a wonderful job, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of that can be attributed to Kubrick's direction, and how much of it can be attributed to him just being good at it.
Yeah.
Hard to say, because then you
Mm-hmm.
got Doctor Sleep. You have quite a few more children in Doctor Sleep. You got the baseball boy, which is Jacob Tremblay.
Which is super famous.
Yeah, he was amazing.
He did really
He did
good.
really
yeah. Even
good.
just for the small part he had, it was very triggering,
So
honestly.
upsetting.
It was so fucking. Here we go, Stephen King, you fucking piece of shit. I hate him. And the baby dying
Oh
at the
my
beginning of
God,
the
yeah.
movie.
See that? This is kind of an aside from child acting, but such a bold introduction to Danny as an adult, to have him abandon a dead woman and her baby and steal her money and then leave, go to a different state altogether, to show you the state he's in,
And then
where he just randomly,
and then it haunts him.
yeah, he's such a drunkard. He just wakes up. He doesn't even really know what happened the night before. It slowly comes back to him. Wakes up with a dead woman next to him, choked on her own vomit in her sleep. Steals her money. Leaves the baby there, and the baby dies. It is in such a bold, I can't imagine, it's so insane to me that a studio allowed that to be an introduction of a main character
Yeah,
in such a
I'm
high budget
crying.
movie. It is insane.
Yeah, it's really fucked up because he sees the baby and the baby walks out of the room and calls for his mom. And then he just leaves the baby right next to his dead mom.
Mm-hmm.
That is so fucked up. I really don't. I will not read Stephen King's books because I can't imagine how fucked up they are in the book and how detailed they are.
Yeah. And I mean, it haunts him. It's not like he felt good with that decision.
It's honestly, it should have haunted him a lot more than the one time. I would have liked that.
I'm sure it did in the
Because
book.
I hope so, because I hope he was constantly reminded of what he did when he was a fucking piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That is so disturbing.
Yeah, it's...
Kids aren't supposed to die. I don't like that. That really pisses me off.
Yeah, and for, an actor of the caliber of Ewan McGregor to do that, in a movie. Like most super famous actors, like The Rock, he's contractually obliged to never even lose a fight in a movie. The Rock, like
Oh wow, I
some
didn't
of
know
these
that.
actors are so full of themselves they could never be portrayed even in the slightly negative light in movies. So, like that
Yeah,
made me
this is a
respect Ewan
lot.
McGregor so much. Like he's not just like a vain actor that just does it for the attention and the fame. Like he's a artist that he's
Yeah,
willing
he
to be
like
portrayed in
actually
that light.
commits. Yeah, I like that too.
And just when he came to Cliff Curtis's door and he's like just said, "I need help." Just the way he said it, those three words,
I know.
finally admitting to need help. Like I teared up in that part in the movie. It's so
Yeah, it's very
impactful
powerful.
to
Yeah.
have someone struggling their whole life and only in like what his mid 30s finally accept that he needs help. It's just
Well, I guess that was maybe what got him the whole mom and daughter or mom and baby dying
yeah, that was the
was
same
maybe what
night.
really kind of yeah, it kind of fucked him up
That's
enough and
right.
he left and he was like, "All right, I need help." So, I guess that's good, but still very fucked up thing to see and it's honestly giving hold on, let me remember. Skinamarink.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh.
like that fucked up. It's like sad. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to think about kids dying.
Yeah, and like
Ugh.
I've only the only Mike Flanagan show I've seen, Midnight Mass, and
Mhm.
this is the only Mike Flanagan movie I've seen, but both have made me cry, and not because like scary, just because of how emotional it is.
Well, you'll cry if you watch Haunting of Hill House or Haunting of Bly Manor. They're very
Yeah,
good.
I should probably get around to
You
those
have
this
to. It's
spooky
so
season, and
good.
then he's got the Fall of the House of Usher coming out in a few
Mhm.
weeks.
Mhm.
But like Mike Flanagan,
Is that bitch right now?
yeah, to me he's known much more. I know him more for how good he is at drama than horror. I mean, he's damn good at horror, but the way he handles drama, the way he handles trauma and drama and
Yeah.
interpersonal relationships and conflicts is
Mhm.
so masterful. He's
Yeah, but
amazing.
I love his horror, like his type of horror. Like we said, it's a slow burn, but it is fucking like creepy. I'm telling you, when you watch Haunting of Hill House, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck, bent neck lady?" That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
It is so haunting. Truly, the perfect word. It is so haunting. It is so
Hill House
disturbing.
or Blind
Yeah, it's
Manor,
so Hill House. Yeah, no,
whichever
it
one.
is so. It's very effective. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be a jump scare. It's so creepy. And that's like honestly, that's my favorite type of horror. Is like creepy, slow, just eerie, like oh, it's like I fucking hate. Like I love it though. You know what I mean? It like creeps up on you. I don't want the fucking jump scare. I like slow and sad too.
Mm-hmm.
Many emotions, very a lot of emotions, sadness, grief, just pain, horror, scared, just so much going on. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I love when a author, director, just like Ari Aster too with Midsommar and Hereditary and shit, not just invoking fear and like scaredness, but like upset and disturbed and like you're like, oh my fucking god, like what is going on right now? Like I love that shit. I
Mm-hmm.
love it.
Well, you have to watch Midnight. I'll watch Blind Manor and
Okay,
Hill
we'll watch
House
them.
if you watch Midnight Mass. That's
Okay.
how good Midnight Mass is. I'm willing to
I'll
watch
do it.
two
Well, that's
entire
how good.
shows for you to watch
That's
one.
how good. That's how good Bly Manor is in Hill House.
Midnight
So
Mass disturbed me
we'll make the
so deeply.
really
It,
good. I love that shit.
it, like, I was just staring at the
I can't wait
screen
to
like
watch it.
aghast. I couldn't look
Oh shit.
away. It was just
Yeah.
so
Well,
uniquely
that's how.
horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know
Hill House
how else
is
to describe
the
it.
same. Bly Manor is not as scary, but it's very upsetting and sad. It's more of a drama, but Hill House is fucking creepy. And I keep playing.
What are you throwing?
And I keep playing with this hair clip, and it keeps flying across the room. But yeah, it's a glue stick, mandatory podcast fidget thing we have every time. But yeah, I just love it. I love it. I can't wait to watch it. So yay, go, Mike Flanagan. Yeah.
And then, goddamn, Midnight Mass is so good. But
yeah,
there's nobody. It's just so good. Everybody is so good in it. You have to watch it. You have to watch it. Getting back on topic, we kind of strayed super far away from child acting, but
yeah,
the child acting in Doctor Sleep, you got Jacob Tremblay. He's good. That little girl in the beginning of the movie. I mean, she's in it for such a very short amount of time, but she's fine. The little girl in like the 80s that gets kidnapped by the vampires.
She was in Hill House. She was in Hill House.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so she's another Mike Flanagan actor.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we got into that aside because I said, Danny was good in The Shining. I don't know if it's whether he's good or if Stanley Kubrick's a good director, but Mike Flanagan, what I've seen with him working with children, the child actors in Midnight Mass, incredible.
Yeah.
But
I could say the same for Hill House.
Most of the child actors are good in Doctor Sleep, but just the main with Abra, there comes a point in Abra's character where she becomes very corny and it takes away from the impact of scenes.
She becomes too childlike, and I can't take her seriously anymore. She's too much of a kid, but she's supposed to be mature because of the shit she's seen and done and shit. I don't know. It's very weird. It's kind of weird, right?
The day after her dad got murdered, she's at the Overlook Hill talking about, "We're gonna kick your ass." She's like,
if that was any other kid, yeah,
we're not gonna be the ones screaming. You are.
She's honestly probably not her acting, but her script, her writing of her character is the weakest character. Yeah. I don't know. She didn't do it for me, but maybe it's because she is up against, big named actors that can act really well. Maybe the adult actors outshined her, but if the little girl hasn't acted, I can tell. You know what I mean? I don't know, but she did have a big role to play. So it was a lot. It was a lot for a kid. She was the main character.
Yeah, it was Ewan McGregor and her. Those were the main characters.
And she has way more of character development than Danny ever did as a child. So I can appreciate it. I'm not saying she's a bad actress. I'm just saying there's something. Yeah, definitely. There's some corny shit going on. Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, she's a good actress.
She's good.
Yeah,
I don't think she was
away
given
from
the
the seriousness. Material. Right. That's what I mean. Yeah, the writing there's something off. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know what to attribute it to: the directing, the writing, or her, or maybe a little bit of all.
Maybe.
It's really hard to
we'll
say.
never know unless we see her in something else. Then we'll be able to judge it then. But yeah, from just this.
Yeah, it's just she was good the most of the time, but she's for the most of the movies she's what do you call a whippersnapper. She's very kiddish. She's a go-getter, but you would think her attitude would kind of change a little bit after her father gets murdered because of her, but no.
Yeah, her being more pissed or something, or I don't know, more. Yeah, she's just still the corny girl that she is.
Yeah, I don't understand why there wasn't a shift in her attitude after that. It's very confusing to me. It's like when they were writing the script, they forgot that her dad got killed by the person that she's confronting.
Yeah. I don't know.
But anyways, the movie's still great. Yeah. Other than that very small kind of confusing aspect. So we're gonna kind of circle back. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that this episode is coming out after the It episode. Hopefully, we'll see. So in our previous episode, we talked about It, also written by Mr. King.
Mm-hmm.
What similarities are there in the stories and the themes between the two? And, well, you kind of let it be known already, but what's your opinion of Stephen King as a writer? Also kind of
I will answer the second part and you can answer the first because I mean whatever. I don't
Why don't we both answer both?
I have more to say on the second part because you know how I am with like themes and shit. I am not that good with them like you are, but as a writer, I like I said earlier, I can appreciate his mind and I can appreciate his writing and he's great and all that. But don't be reading his motherfucking books if you ain't trying to like kill yourself or some shit. Like this shit is so goddamn deep and like it's a lot. It's a lot, you know? And there's always some type of racism, homophobia, and I get it. That does happen in real life. But when I read books, I don't want to read about that. And it's always like a gay person or you know, non-white person getting killed or bullied or some shit. And I'm like, this is so triggering to me. Like, I can't. Like, and then to watch it on the motherfucking big screen, I'm like, I am gonna fucking have a baby. Like, I can't. This is so crazy. Like, there's so much bullying and yeah, it's just, and then there's always some fucking undertone of abuse, whether it's sexual abuse in it, whether in, you know, The Shining, there's emotional abuse, emotional neglect. There's just so much. There's these characters, you know what? I will say the characters are very packed deep with a lot of like character, you know, like these characters are characters. You know, they're not shallow. The characters are charactering. There's a lot going on, which I can appreciate, but it's just heavy. It's really heavy. It's a lot, and
okay, Marty McFly.
The tone, the themes, they're both just really fucked up. Honestly, how does this man come up with this shit for real? Like, this is
That's how.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It is. I should start doing it if I get some fucking
for
Stephen
real.
King stories.
Yeah, then you'll start writing some really good shit.
Yeah, I'll actually start writing my ideas instead of just thinking about them.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, every Stephen King book is always somehow intertwined with that turtle in the sky, baby. The turtle in the sky. And it's
Is that a plane? Is that a bird? No, it's a turtle.
No, it's a turtle in the
giving
sky.
Giving birth to a clown.
Yeah, giving birth to it. And the fucking just the craziest shit, man. So, yeah, all these movies, all these like film adaptations of these books are super fucked up. And I can't imagine how the books are. I'm not going to read them. I literally have it, and I've wanted to read it, but I just don't know if I can. Yeah. I don't think my tender little heart can take the bullying. I mean, for fuck's sake, when we watched it and he was like cutting the kid's stomach, I'm like, I'm out of here, bro. I can't watch this. I can't watch people hurt kids. Like, yeah. I just can't. So just imagine how fucked up the book was. You know, they probably took a lot out. And then it's just, yeah, it's too much. Anyways, what do you think? What do you think about him and, you know, the similarities in the movies and stuff?
Well, you know, Stephen King, he's very prolific. He's one of the most famous American authors of our time. I mean, does he still drop books? I don't even know.
I mean, he dropped Dr. Sleep in 2013, so I mean,
True,
he's still pretty.
If not,
that was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, I'm sure he's released a book since then, but you know, he's very iconic. And
yeah, he wrote a book in 2023. He's still writing books.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Was it Dr. Woke?
No, it's called Holly.
Oh, naturally. He's very prolific and he's very iconic. He's very distinct. I feel like I'm just saying buzzwords, but I'll actually start elaborating. He's like, I don't know quite how to say it, but he's like a very American author. Like the themes that he touches upon, the broken families, the types of attitudes, the bullying between kids.
The shit you only see in America, baby.
Yeah, it's just he's one of the great American authors of our time. He's wrote some crazy ass shit, but he evokes like the 50s through the 80s those 30 years in America are evoked very well by Stephen King's writing, which I say that I've never read single one of his damn books, but somehow I know that.
It's always families, and it's always like their lives behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. You know, like with the real shit that's going on. I wonder how his home life was when he was a kid, because he's clearly seen some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something, because he definitely depicts the shit that people don't say or do out loud or in public. You know, this is all shit behind closed door that actually happens. That's why it's so fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think also at the same time, that is the best type of horror, is the real shit.
Yeah. It's very effective, very, very, it's disturbing on a whole nother level. It's not paranormal. It's real shit that actually happens to people we know. Mm-hmm. That is so fucking scary to me. And that's why I say it's too real. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can't. Like, this is scary. I don't know.
Yeah, but, thematically, it and The Shining, and, well, Doctor Sleep more so than The Shining, it and Doctor Sleep, there is strong thematic similarity, I feel. You know, like we said with the It movies, they literally adapted what happens in the book, but like the theme was missing. But I feel the theme of letting go of your childhood trauma, becoming your own full adult, is, you know, it's supposed to be there in the It movies, but it's just fucking missing. But that's very much what Doctor Sleep is about, and it's incredibly powerful.
That is very true. I did not see those similarities until you brought that up just now. Very good.
Yeah, he's so, just like how the characters...
It's like a coming-of-age movie.
Yeah, almost. Like the characters in it are entirely bogged down by what happened in their childhoods. I mean, look, we talked about it earlier. Danny is a whole mess. Just an alcoholic, abandoning... horrible, homeless man. I mean, homelessness doesn't make him horrible. Those were poor consecutive choices of words, but
No, I understand though. It's like the events of his life, like leading up to that. Like, he's an alcoholic who left a dead mom and a baby. You know what I mean? And he stole money because he's homeless and he has no money. It's just they all go together. That doesn't mean
and it's all because of what happened to him when he was a kid. And he has to spend a whole movie, a whole book, getting
out of that childhood trauma.
From childhood trauma. So Dr. Sleep adapts it better than it adapted it.
That's true.
That's weird.
True.
They should have got Mike Flanagan on that it shit.
For real, bro. Oh my fucking God, dude. That movie's so goddamn bad. Mm-hmm. The first one's okay. The second one's terrible.
Yeah, it's just... Dr. Sleep.
And you know what? The It movies did fall victim to the Legacy sequel 2010s.
How so? Elaborate.
Because they're remakes of movies that happened many years ago, and they're fucking shit.
Okay. Fair enough. But they didn't have hey, I'm Bill from the one from the 90s. They didn't have
I don't give a fuck about the legacy issue. I'm saying the sequel, some shit should just not be remade. You know what I mean?
Enough. Or continue.
And that's what I mean. Right. Or just leave it alone.
It's there. Don't try to dig up the dead.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Dr. Sleep is so good, and not even because of the horror aspects, just Danny's character having to be more than his past is so fucking good.
Yep. I agree.
So good. And chapter 2 could have been that good if they cared about telling a story about characters, but no, they just cared about they go in this room. And in the corner you see
So dumb. I literally lost 2 hours of my fucking life watching chapter 2. 3? It was 2.5.
Yeah, chapter 2 was longer than The Shining and Doctor Sleep. Not combined, but
so
individually.
Fucked up. So stupid.
So like, I don't know.
They really fucked that shit up.
Yeah. But they didn't fuck up Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, they did a good job. Go, Mike Flanagan. You did good. You really helped that movie. I'm really proud and happy for you.
It couldn't have been good without him. Truly.
I agree.
It's a miracle.
I agree.
That it's good. Not that you know what I mean? It's a miracle that a sequel to The Shining is even good. But then it makes sense when you see, Mike Flanagan wrote and directed it. And he edited it too. Did you know that? Mike Flanagan edited it.
Wow.
But okay, actually, speaking of the editing, I got actually one problem with the fucking Dr. Sleep editing. The goddamn the whole movie.
I swear to God, bro. This fucking heartbeat, I was like, is my heart beating this fast? Is it beating this slow? So annoying. So annoying. I didn't like that either.
I thought it was overused in The Shining. And then you watch Dr. Sleep.
Yeah. It was overused.
In
it's
The
a little
Shining,
overused.
it kind of makes sense because things are happening that justifies the heartbeat. Like when when paranormal things, off-kilter things are happening in The Shining, you have it. Literally 80% of the scenes, even when there's nothing paranormal happening in Dr. Sleep. Remember I said it sounds like windshield wipers.
Yeah, it was definitely annoying. It definitely was overused, and it was just like it loses its luster when you fucking use it 100 goddamn times. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
It just, you drain it or drown it out. It just becomes a part of the noise. Like, it's not impactful.
Yeah.
But that's my only complaint. I don't understand the decision to use that so much. Maybe it has something to do with, like, when someone's shining, you can hear their heart or something. I don't know. But movie's still good, despite the heartbeat.
What would you rate these movies, Kinka?
See, hear me out. Both of these movies, 5 out of 5.
Okay.
They are both amazing in different ways. I think I like Doctor Sleep more than The Shining. But, remember we were watching The Shining, and I was just like, this is so fucking good. Like, it's just a random scene.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Oh, do you not remember what I said the whole goddamn time?
Oh, this is the best part. I
was like, this is the best scene. I swear to God, I said that like 60 fucking times.
In case you didn't know, in The Shining, every scene is the best scene.
Yes, in my opinion. So good.
I don't know, Doctor Sleep.
So good.
Like I said earlier, there's just so much more to latch onto on Doctor Sleep. It feels like a much more personal movie. I feel much more catharsis watching it. I feel like I'm watching someone overcome everything that's been holding them down their whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it too. It's a very uplifting movie almost. Like, I'm like, good for you, bro. Like, hell yeah, you know? I like it.
Yeah, but then The Shining is like, hey, you want to see Jack Nicholson go from
15% psycho,
crazy
bro?
to 100% crazy?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
So what would your ratings be for the movies?
Honestly, I would give The Shining, I don't know. Do I feel like being nice or not?
Send Kubrick's dad. He's not going to hear this. You can be mean.
I'm trying to think. What movie would actually... Okay, I would give The Shining a 4.5. How about... Fuck. I like these movies both. I love these movies, but I love them both completely differently.
Same.
Like, not in the same way, you know? So, I don't know. I think I would give The Shining a 4.5 because it's not 100% perfect. But okay, I got it. 4.8 for The Shining, 4.5 for Dr. Sleep.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't like in
rounded up or rounded down from the decimal?
Up.
Okay, good to know.
Up. Yeah, so the only thing I didn't like about Dr. Shining was, I don't know. There's something wrong. Maybe it's the runtime. Maybe it's, okay, I get it. You have to have the story of the characters who fucking, you know, they use The Shining for bad. But I don't know. I like the simplicity of the bottle movie. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The bottle movie, pretty much, of The Shining. It was in the hotel mostly.
That's true. I didn't even think about how that's a bottle movie.
I love that. And I don't love that about Dr. Sleep.
Yeah,
There's
Sleep's
a
going
lot
all
of
over
fuck.
The place.
I don't like that. So yeah, that the amount of characters and the amount of places they went, that was just like to me, like that kind of like, I didn't love that part. But everything else was great. Acting was great, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's just a fucking jam ass packed movie. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. You have to pay attention. But with The Shining, it's just a different feel. Like, if I was going to have friends over, I'd be like, let's put The Shining on. I'm not going to fucking put on Doctor Sleep where everyone's got to shut the hell up and we got to watch this shit in silence. No, we get to watch The Shining. Yeah. We can talk and whatever, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. See,
so,
that's something I meant to bring up, but I completely forgot. You reminded me. Doctor Sleep, a lot of aspects of the movie feel very bookish. Like with how many different locations they're going like across the whole damn country.
It's so annoying.
And how much time.
I don't like that.
Like that 8-year time jump randomly towards the beginning of the movie.
Was it not this movie? Was it not Dr. Sleep where literally every 5 fucking seconds, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Wyoming, Arkansas, wherever the fuck. I'm like, I even asked you, I'm like, why are they telling us all these places? I'm not going to remember this in 3 minutes. Like, why? I don't like that. Yeah, there's too many fucking places.
It felt very much like a book.
I don't like that.
Like
I don't like that at all.
Only with books does that like fully work.
Would that
like,
ever happen? Right. They don't do that in movies.
Yeah, but
they don't do that in movies. I don't like that. I kind of
respect it for feeling so much like a book. And I just
it's fine, but it's just like,
the whole thing with him working in the hospice and everything, that felt very bookish to me too. I kind of want to read this book despite not having read The Shining. I feel like the book is really damn good. I feel like that with how the adaptation is. Like those things where I can tell like this feels like a book, but in a good way. I don't know. I got that vibe from a lot of aspects of Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, I feel you.
But that's an aside. That was the Shinib and Dr. Schlumped.
Yeah, that was Shinning. That was Shinib and that was honestly. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let's thank our patrons now. We love them so freaking much. Oh, we got some nice amount of money in this motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So
don't need to say that publicly.
We're rich. Yeah. Well, whatever. Anyways, we want to thank our patrons: Sam here, Legend Gaming, Panda Bear, Water Bucket, Lucy and Boldy, Sam Lenz, and Johnny Azul. Thank you guys for supporting us and helping us. Dude, we took a little bit of time off, but now we're back with our spooky season episodes every single week. And we really hope you like them because
every single week in October. Just to clarify, every single week in October.
Right, yeah, that's what I meant. Every single week in October, and then we'll go back to regularly scheduled programming every other week. So yeah, thanks for supporting. Thanks for watching if you made it this far, and happy haunting.
Yeah,
Woo!
don't get shown on.
Yeah, don't get shown, kid.
Get your nibbed, kid.
Oh God, so good. All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.